Mark 8.5 Facelift VW Golf GTI Clubsport Performance Pack. So I'm going to go through this car, super high definition 4K footage of this Performance Pack car. Sort of explain to you what the Performance Pack actually brings, a little bit around, these stunning images of this car in King's Red Metallic, and talk about the Clubsport. I'll also reflect back on my drive on the car. I have got a video on that on my channel. So I do love my GTIs, my Golf Rs, my VW bits. So feel free to subscribe to that. But let's talk about the Performance Pack. Let's talk about how I found this new facelifted Clubsport and get straight into this one. So as you can see here, the car looks absolutely, I feel it looks stunning in King's Red. I feel that's a real GTI colour. And you can see the red bar across the front. Now that is actually a standard. You can option sort of like a black pack, which sort of loses that bar. I quite like it. You can see the red GTI brake calipers with the larger sort of drill disc brakes. And one thing that actually is potentially part of the Performance Pack might be around tyres. This particular car that I drove, which is actually the car that you're seeing now, had optional more sort of Goodyear, it was Goodyear Super Sport. It was more sort of like track orientated tyres, which was quite cool. And more images of the car. But let me just tell you what the Performance Pack actually derives upon and what it's about. So the Performance Pack includes a speed limit increase to 168 miles an hour, which I've shared on my channel, or the EA888 engine can do. It gives you additional driving modes with drift and special, which just changes sort of like the dimension of the car. The software setup is different. You can then change the adaptive DCC suspension, which is separate from the Performance Pack, which affects things. You get the spoiler at the back there as well, which is standard on all Clubsport models. As part of the Performance Pack, you get the Akrapovic Exhaust as standard. Now, that's kind of like one of the main things, because to get something like that as standard, as part of a few other things, is quite big, because the Akrapovic Exhaust on its own is quite expensive. And I'll read exactly what VW sent me on the press sort of pack of this exact car. It says, this is part of the GTI Performance Pack, the Akrapovic Exhaust system, and then it says rear muffler in titanium, and it says £0 when ordered in conjunction with the Varmanor alloy wheels. Again, a different option, and they're the lightweight wheels I've shown. So that's what I'm being told here. Now, the Performance Pack might mean different in different regions. I'm just sort of spelling out of what it is in the UK for this car. So this Clubsport, the facelift, has the exact same power as the pre-facelift car. So that's 300 PS. But essentially, we've had those little changes as well. I quite like a Performance Pack. I like a package which contains a few things. Certainly, if you think of the amount of testing that's been done on this stunning King's Red Metallic car, a lot of the testers will be testing it with all these things on it, with the lightweight Varmanor wheels, with the dynamic chassis control, with even with like the Akrapovic Exhaust, which does save a little bit of weight. So does the Varmanor wheels. This is just a front-wheel drive car, so slightly lighter and certainly more agile and fun. I mean, look, compared to a Golf R, you get the GTI sort of like puddle lights from the door mirrors too. Inside, you get the GTI seats. Less red, I have to say. I would probably like a little bit more colour in my GTI. The standard GTI, you get the tartan seats. This, you just kind of get the plain kind of red with the stitching. Plenty supportive enough. I mean, you can see how body-hugging they actually are. And this car was fun, I'm not going to lie. And I'm going to share with you the sound of this GTI Clubsport as well at the end with the Akrapovic Exhaust, just to let you know interested to know what you think. And I'll briefly splice in a little bit about the Golf R too, just because I found the Golf R sounded a little bit better on my drives back to back on this with this car. So that's just for me. Red is very much in keeping with the with GTI and the Clubsport. You get the 7-speed DSG gearbox as well in conjunction with it. Gloss black sort of shown inside. So got to keep that clean. As you can just about see the steering wheel there as well. You get the buttons now back on the steering wheel, so it's kind of reverted back to what it was like in the Mark 7, Mark 7.5 generation. I have a Mark 7 Golf R, for example, and it's exactly the same as these buttons in this facelift. So they've ditched the haptic buttons for all models except for the facelift R. You get the GTI badge there, but nothing really sort of screaming Clubsport, which I would have liked to have seen. The car was super fun to drive. I really enjoyed it. I think it's a really, really a car you should be considering if you're looking for a proper hot hatch. Just a pure combustion engine, that 2-litre petrol engine. No hybrid, no electric. It just is what it is. I believe you can option more interior carbon as well, and that's quite a cool little thing to kind of potentially add to the car. This car also has Harman Kardon, so it improves the sound system with a subwoofer. The 8.5 infotainment now is, essentially improved over the pre-facelift. I've lived with it and sort of spent a fair amount of time with it in various different models, I found it quite usable and functional. Just even having the basics of backlit buttons is now a bit of an improvement. But about the Club Sport, you know, it's about the driving really, and those driving modes which you get as part of the performance pack, I think are important. It just enables that extra customizability to suit your needs, and you can change it to individual as well, so you can do your own personal setup. You know, you can make it maybe perhaps firmer than perhaps even in Nürburgring mode, the special mode. You've got the IDA voice assistants, as you can see there. Yeah, it's everyone's personal preference, what they like. And yeah, that's the way the future's kind of going. You can customize the dash as well, so it can suit kind of how you kind of want it. Also, I liked it when it was in special mode, it would rev slightly higher at idle, and it just felt a bit more punchy, so it'd rev above 1,000 RPM, whereas you can see there it's at like about 800, 900. Yeah, you can change things, you can set it up, G meters, all sorts of fun stuff with your GTI. And being the Club Sport, it's kind of giving it all it's got. And yeah, I found this car plenty enjoyable and fun to drive. And that performance pack kind of does make sense. You know, if I just sort of, I mean, you can see kind of like the lap timer going there. But if I just think about what you kind of potentially want in a car as like this in terms of like the options, you know, if you want the Akrapovic exhaust, I mean, I'm not even sure in the UK you can option the Akrapovic exhaust separately. If you want that, you have to kind of go for the performance pack anyway, and that will give you the essentially the Estoril wheels, the black Estoril wheels as standard, but then you can upgrade to the Varmner wheels. You know, it feels confusing to me, and hopefully this somehow breaks things down a little bit for you. But this specific car, the options that it has is dynamic chassis control. It has the alternative alloy wheels, the Varmner wheels, the GTI performance pack, area view, which is the cameras, and it's just a bit more of a back view. The side airbags, which I think is a no-brainer. Harman Kardon sound system as well. This also has a Vodafone S5 Factum tracker, which I feel is quite important. And it has the King's Red metallic paint as well. Increases the price, but this is pretty much a fully optioned car. And yeah, that's essentially the Club Sport. That's the performance pack. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. You know, that's my channel is a community channel, so please feel free to get involved. I'm happy to let you know how I found that drive now that I've reflected on it further, and more content to come as well, sort of sharing this sort of amazing car. Hopefully more time to kind of live with it too, and to share with you an even more in-depth review on top of the one that I've already shared with you previously. But yeah, enjoy the sound of this Akrapovic exhaust. Let me know what you think in the comments.